This one goes out to my lover boys and girls out there. The ones that love fast and love hard. The ones that seem to be so in tune with love that they're deeply in love with the very concept itself. The ones that will literally bend themselves backwards giving to others at their own expense. Not necessarily because they expect something in return, but because they enjoy it, like some masochistic freak. Or the ones that catch feelings and get attached just as quickly as the average person's attention span disappears in this day and age. If this is you, then oh my Shayla, you're in for a world of hurt if you aren't already. Cause easy pickings like y'all are prime targets for heartbreak, exploitation, and canon events that may or may not jumpstart your villain arc. But not to worry, for I am here now, and I look out for my own, cause the last thing this world needs is more hate and low quality people. Make no mistake, contrary to what others say or what you've experienced, your ability to love so hard is a highly coveted treasure, not a curse. We as humans are naturally drawn to love. We write record-breaking songs about what it's like to experience it and what it's like to be hurt by it. We consume stories that tug at our emotions because it's driven by it. We seek relationship advice from others because we want to be better at it. The very fact that you clicked on this video meant you were intrigued enough by its subject matter, or because you just messed with me like that, which either way shows a pull towards the concept of love. Not to mention, we literally seek it from others. As such, your ability to give a highly potent and pure form of what we as a species are drawn towards is nothing short of a blessing, and is a huge disservice to yourself to think any less. The issue isn't that you love so hard, it's the place where it's coming from. Because odds are, the reason why you chase love so hard is because you don't love yourself enough. Let's you and me have a little heart to heart. If you're a regular here on my channel, you've probably noticed a common theme in my videos, which is that my content style tends to revolve around me sharing my thoughts and experiences as I navigate life, in hopes that it leads others down a brighter path. The reason for that is because one of the things I seek in life is fulfillment, and one of the ways I'm able to achieve that is by being to others the older brother I would have wanted for myself. It's one of my guiding compasses in a way. I know a lot of you are looking for your own sense of clarity in your lives, and a good starting point that has helped push me in the right direction is finding the intersection of what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. This is what led me to going back to school. If you're interested in learning more about this concept, there's a class I've been looking into on Skillshare by Tim Tamashiro, author of the book How to Ikigai, which expands on that very concept. But for those that aren't in the know, let me introduce you to Skillshare. Skillshare is the largest online learning community with thousands of classes led by industry experts in all forms of creative and productivity fields, ranging from illustration, design, freelance, entrepreneurship, and, in this case, refining your life purpose. If you aren't interested in the concept of Ikigai, don't sweat it, cause there are countless of other classes you can learn on Skillshare. Plus, Skillshare has a 7-day free trial for you to see whether it's a good fit for you, and a 30-day money-back guarantee if you decide it's not. Let Soya Boya here hook you up. The first 500 people to use my link in the description or scan my QR code will receive 20% off their first year of Skillshare. So go ahead and start your skill cultivating journey today. Thank you Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Do any of these seem familiar to you? As a kid, you were only acknowledged for your achievements or your shortcomings. You only got praise when you received straight A's or won first place. Any less, and all you're hearing on the car ride back home is that you should have done this or should have done that. Or, whenever you made a mistake, you get compared to someone else. Look at your cousin doing X, Y, and Z, and yet here you are complaining about this little thing. If it's not coming from within your own home, maybe it's coming from the outside world. Maybe you're scrolling through social media and are exposed to content that drags you into an echo chamber. If it's not certain traits that are deemed red flags and green flags, or attractive and icky, it's the mantra that oversimplifies issues. Boss up, girl. Men are the problem. Lock in, boys. Women are going to drag you down. Or maybe it's not the outside world or within your own home. Maybe it goes even deeper, within yourself. You got made fun of for something you genuinely enjoy doing, which made you invalidate your own interests. Your partner left you for someone else that made you question your own worth. You experienced failure after failure after failure, which made you feel inferior. What all these experiences have in common, whether instilled by outside forces or from within, is that they made you internalize a certain belief, that love is conditional, and as a default state, you are unworthy of receiving love. Or in other words, you can't love yourself without external validation. This fundamentally puts you in a state where you feel the need to constantly prove yourself. Not for the love of the game, but because only by doing so will you truly feel some sort of self-worth. You know what this manifests as? Blindly and aggressively chasing love at your own expense. Let's dive deeper. When you lack self-worth and are unable to give yourself the assurance that you're good enough, you'll seek it from others. You know why you get emotionally invested too fast? Because you've been deprived of love and affection all your life. So you desperately cling onto the glimmer of affection that you're finally receiving, and you romanticize it as a way to keep the fire alive. This leads to you fantasizing about the future and ignoring potential red flags because you don't want to lose that person and let go the feeling of finally being quote-unquote loved. You know why you'd be willing to go to such lengths at your own expense for someone who hasn't proven that they would do the same for you? Because you're desperate to prove to them that you are worth something, and they gave you validation that you were good enough. You put in all this effort and self-sacrifice, and they showered you with compliments like, "You're too good for me," or "How are you real?" or "You're so amazing," which gets you drunk on the validation you've been seeking. You know why you stay despite the fact that they've proven time and time again that they aren't good for you? Because you think so lowly of yourself that you don't have the expectations that you deserve the same treatment you are providing for others. Better yet, you don't even realize the value of the things you do for others because you constantly undermine your own worth. It's like you're selling a diamond to the first person that offers to buy it, without taking into consideration that there are other people willing to buy it for so much more. You just have to know its worth and bide your time, instead of jumping at the first offer. And make no mistake, acts such as strong emotional investment, self-sacrifice, putting in effort, and staying through thick or thin are beautiful qualities, and ones that constitute true love, something we all seek in a partner and should strive to be for our partners. But the issue isn't these acts of love, it's that you're giving them out so easily for people that haven't shown that they'll receive it with grace and reciprocation. You're not acting out of love, you're acting to fill that hole that you can't seem to fill yourself. Because you're not actually in love with that person. You're in love with the feeling of being wanted, because you don't have a stable sense of self-worth outside of being wanted. And so at this point, you're probably thinking, "Oh, here we go again. He's gonna tell us to love ourselves, blah, blah, blah. Let me go ahead and recite my affirmations in front of a mirror, treat myself to something nice, start reading 48 Laws of Power, go to the gym, or whatever." And I get it. It seems like a slap in the face for the solution to be, just love yourself, stupid. It's easier said than done. And, well, yeah, it is. Your current thinking and behavior patterns resulted from a culmination of countless years of life experience. Do you honestly think it'd be that easy to break down the patterns that have solidified themselves over countless years of reinforcement? Here's a hint. No, obviously not. It takes active work and mindfulness to rewire those negative thought patterns. You have to actively catch yourself in your patterns and challenge them in order to unlearn them. Things like going to the gym, reading books, and affirmations are useful, but only when you understand the fundamental principle for why you're doing them in the first place. Otherwise, you're not building self-worth. You're just imitating behaviors that build self-worth. So the question is, how do you learn to love yourself? Let's do a thought exercise to illustrate the idea. Think of someone you love. Maybe it's your mom, your brother, your dog. That 2D waifu you goon to don't count. Got someone in mind? Good. Now, how would you feel if that person got hurt? Whether that be emotional or physical, what feelings come up when you see them crying, being mistreated, struggling? Now, how would you feel when you see them being happy? What kind of emotions well up when you imagine the thought of them laughing, thriving, flourishing? And what kind of things would you do for them so that they are able to experience that more often than not? And then finally, how do you react when you see the human side to them? Do you love them any less when they make mistakes or when they hurt you? Do you abandon them when times get tough? Take note of all these feelings and the thoughts you had for that person. Now, switch that person you thought of with yourself. That's how you learn to authentically build a healthy relationship with yourself. Just like it hurts you to see the ones you love struggling and it makes you happy seeing them flourish, you have to think the same for yourself. Since we're living life from a first-person POV, we tend to separate ourselves from everyone else, like we're spectators seeing the world from a screen. And because of that, it's easy to forget that we aren't merely spectators. We're also players in the same ball field playing the same rules. Sometimes we have to conceptualize ourselves as separate human beings outside of our own POV to conceptualize how to treat ourselves better. Am I making sense? I can't hear you saying no, so I'ma move on regardless. This concept of treating yourself how you would treat the ones you love is a basis for how we build self-worth. Like a seed, we have to nourish and water it in order for it to grow. Let's move on to applications of this concept. When you conceptualize what it means to love yourself the way you love others, habits like going to the gym and reading books start to make sense. You go to the gym because you want to feel good and look good, because you want to have a healthy functioning body that's free from preventable problems. You read books because you want to acquire knowledge that may elevate your living experience. You want to learn so that you don't become bound by lower level thinking. You give yourself affirmations because you want to uplift yourself, just like you'd praise and support the ones you love, not bring them down. You give your loved ones a reality check because you want them to experience authentic happiness, not some shallow instant gratification. And you should do the same for yourself. Just like how you want the best for your loved ones, your actions should derive from the principle of wanting the best for yourself. That's why you seek self-improvement. Because you love yourself, you choose to improve your living experience. Or in the case of chasing love, you choose to walk away when the person doesn't compliment your life because you want an authentically fulfilling love. Alright, now let me keep you grounded because we're not out here trying to build narcissistic egos. We're cultivating self-love. Don't conflate having self-worth with entitlement. Having self-worth isn't about self-obsession where you expect the world to bow down to you because you're worth it. It's about accepting that, in spite of your flaws, you're no less valuable than everyone else. And as a matter of fact, there's more to you than your shortcomings. It's about knowing who you are at a deeper, more substantial level, and standing your ground when someone acts in a way that tries to undermine your value. Alright, let's leave it off with this. A lot of us seek love, and we have a lot of it to give. So how about we start by giving it to the person in our lives that has been deprived of it the most? Ourselves. Because the best love comes only once you learn to love yourself. Alright, that's all for now. Take care, guys. See you next time.